Mr. President, I want to share some comments on what we saw happen here tonight as it relates to this public lands package. And we saw a glimpse here tonight of, on one hand, how this institution can really come together, years of bipartisan work, years of collaboration on the ground back in our respective states to come together to put together a lands package, and asking for a simple up or down vote tonight in the United States Senate. And I'm very confident, had we had the opportunity to have voted here tonight, you would have seen this lands package pass the United States Senate by at least a 2-to-1 margin. It would have gone to the House, it would have passed, it would have gone to President Trump's desk, and I'm confident he would have signed it. The reason we've been fighting for permanent reauthorization of the Land and Water Conservation Fund is because of what happened right here tonight, is the uncertainty of this institution, where 98 senators can say, let's move ahead for a vote. 2 senators say no, and we weren't able to have a vote tonight. It's okay to oppose legislation. That's the American process. For each of us to come down here and express our respective opinions. Some will say yes, some will say no. What we're asking for here tonight is let's have that debate on the floor, let's have that vote on the floor, and let the senators respectively speak on behalf of the people that sent them here in the first place to represent their interests. But the Land and Water Conservation Fund, the reason we need to permanently reauthorize it is because tonight you could see we didn't get it done. In fact, it expired on September 30th. And here we are, halfway through December, and we still do not have the reauthorization of LWCF. That is why we need to make it permanent, because you can't depend on this institution. And so often, the transactions required back in our home states where we use LWCF funds to access our public lands with the checkerboard nature ownership structure of many places out west, it takes years to put together these deals. Private landowners, the state, the federal government coming together. And when you have the federal government, the United States Congress can't get its job done, it creates uncertainty. And consequently, who loses? When there's uncertainty, the American people lose. That is why we need to permanently reauthorize it. It actually creates more certainty in taking care of a lot of these complex land issues out west, and it saves the taxpayer dollars. And by the way, as Senator Burr has said over and over again, LWCF doesn't cost the taxpayer anything. It doesn't cost the taxpayer anything. That was in this bill tonight, to permanently reauthorize it. It didn't get done. As you read through the titles of these various bills, you hear the stories. There may just be one, looks like one little item here, Section 1009, Senate Bill 1219. There's some little obscure title that a guy from Montana has no idea what's going on in Louisiana or Tennessee or Alaska. But I know back in those respective communities, or Colorado, there's a lot of hard work bringing people together and collaboratives to come together to put together a bill that we then bring to Congress. We move it through committees. We have hours of hearings. Literally, there's probably 100 years of effort, at least, that's gone in to this legislation tonight that we were not able to have an up or down vote on. Wildfire technology modernization. The Yellowstone Gateway Protection Act, that's important to me in Montana. I'll tell you what, the people who are closest to the lands ought to have the loudest voice. And I can tell you the people in Paradise Valley, south of Livingston, Montana, they don't want to see a large mining operation near Chico, Montana. It's time to withdraw the rights there and allow that back door to Yellowstone National Park to be protected in perpetuity. That was part of this land package tonight. You take a look at the sportsman's access to federal lands. One of the issues that sets our nation apart is our public lands. Tell you what, you go to Europe, you don't see public lands. You go virtually anywhere else in the world, you don't see public lands. It is a unique American experience that a mom and dad in Montana, a grandma and grandpa, an aunt and uncle, can still go down to Walmart and buy an elk tag and jump in the pickup and within 20 to 30 minutes be in elk country on public lands. That was part of the Sportsman's Access package. We had the Open Book on Equal Access to Justice Act. In fact, it's something that Senator Barrasso put in place here to ensure we have transparency in the way these funds are spent. There's the Migratory Bird Framework and Hunting Opportunities for Veterans Act in here. My point is there's over 100 bills in here with a lot of careful thought, a lot of consideration, moving through committees. All we wanted to do tonight is have an up or down vote. We didn't get it. But I'm grateful that we had a good bipartisan spirit here tonight, that we're working with leadership in both parties here in the Senate, both parties in the House, including the future leadership in the House. We're going to bring this bill back to the floor of the U.S. Senate in January. We're going to move this through. We're going to move it to the House. We're going to fight to get this thing on the President's desk and signed as one of their early acts of Congress in 2019. So it didn't end well here tonight with this package. We're going to start strong in January. We're not giving up the fight. I want to thank the staff and the committee leadership on both sides of helping us get to this point tonight. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll be back in January fighting.